Okay, so now we're gonna try something else. We're gonna see how to add text to an existing HTML element. So we have done so far, we have changed content, we have changed attributes, and now we're gonna add text. Okay, so there are several ways of adding text. We can add text at the end of an element. We can add text at the beginning of the element, and also we can add text in the middle, right after another element. Okay, we're gonna create a button, and we want to add some text at the end of the Microsoft div. Okay, so once we click on that button, we're gonna see some text coming up right after the link. Okay, so first let's create that button. Just gonna duplicate that, and let's give it an ID. For example, add the text. Okay, let's put some text there. Add text. All right, now we're gonna write some code so that we can access the button and say, in the event of clicking on the button, add some text at the end of the Microsoft div. So let's access the button first. Okay, so we're going to use the ID of the button, add text, and the event is click, and then between parentheses we put in everything there, and then we need the function, and then put in the code of the function between the curly brackets. So now we're going to access the Microsoft div, okay, using the ID of the div. Okay, so Microsoft. And the function we're going to be using to add text at the end of the div is called append. So what this function is doing is going to be taking a parameter, okay, and whatever we are putting inside the strings is going to add this HTML code to the Microsoft div. So let's try something. Let's try to add a list, an unordered list. So for example, let's have some list items, some comics. So for example, BMW, Audi, and Mercedes. Okay, we need the ID of Microsoft. Okay, so the ID of the button is add text without the number sign. So now if we try again, it's supposed to work, and we can see that when we click on the button, that's the unordered list is added to the end of the div, and if we click again, it's we're adding another unordered list. So you can avoid this overflowing of the text by changing the height of the green box to auto. Okay, so now if we try again, you can see that when we add the text, okay, we can see that looks better. Also, we can move the buttons to the top so that it looks better. Let's have all the buttons just before the Facebook div. Okay, let's refresh. And now if we add some text there, we can see the unordered list being added to the end of the Microsoft div. Okay, so now we can we're gonna try something else. So let's say if we want to add the same unordered list to the beginning of the div. So there will be a small change. So rather than using the append method, so we're gonna use the prepend method. So let's just comment this and just copy the code and change this to prepend. And if we try it again, so now the unordered list is added at the beginning of the div. All right. Also, we can add the unordered list right after a certain element or right before a certain element. So let's say we want to add the unordered list right after the Microsoft paragraph. this paragraph here. So first of all, let's give it an ID. So if you go to the paragraph, let's give it an ID and call it Microsoft paragraph. And so actually we don't need to have this. So we can comment only the statements. Okay, let's uncomment that one. Let's just comment these two statements for now to avoid any mistakes. And now we're gonna write some other statements. So we're gonna access the Microsoft paragraph. Okay, and then we're going to use another method. It's called after. Okay, and we're going to put the HTML code inside the quotes. So let's add a paragraph and just call it, just put some text there, new paragraph. We need to use the ID of the paragraph using the number sign. Okay, let's not forget that. And now if you click on the button, we can see that we're adding the new paragraph just after the Microsoft div. And we can do the same thing if we want to add a paragraph just before the Microsoft div. So rather than using after, we can use before. All right. So that's how we change HTML content and attributes. In the next video, you'll learn how to change styling using jQuery.